Hey, welcome to the Razzle Dazzle Show, a podcast where we talk about our favorite video games and all things pop culture with an emphasis on our favorites. We're your hosts, Jared, Mauro, and Chaz.
Hey, my name is Mauro. This is my voice. This is Mauro's voice. It is attached to
on
Mauro.
the internet.
Hello,
And be sure to follow
welcome.
us on our
I am
socials
one of the
and
great
subscribe.
members of the Weeb Nation, and I hope you guys enjoy your time here.
Please let us know what you think about this episode somewhere on the internet, and be sure to follow us on our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Links to them are down below. And with all that being said, it's Razzle Dazzle time.
Okay, so war crimes. How do you guys feel about that?
I was gonna start with the way this show started off by telling me that Yoda's a goat, and they had no other way to show it to me than to have this man go against an army of people.
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be completely honest about that episode. I don't like it. It's just I'm not saying it's not a good episode. I think I'm just sick of watching it. It's a good episode. It's great to see Yoda doing his stuff, right? And doing what a Jedi's supposed to do in these times of the Clone Wars. But it's just like, I think I've seen this episode so many times, especially when Clone Wars was just coming out in 2008, that I'm just like sick of it. It's like overexposure.
It's such. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that that what you got. Oh, for anybody who is not tracking, this will be like the beginning of me diving into Star Wars. We started off on me in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Oh my God. So like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take over for that just to explain real quick.
Go ahead.
We are doing a series, I guess, if you want to call this series, like multi-parter series. I don't know. We are going to be covering each Star Wars season, right? So each Star Wars The Clone Wars seasons 1 through 7? Yeah, 1 through 7. And this is Chaz's first introduction to Star Wars, basically. Right?
We probably should have. Yeah, we probably should have started with that.
Yeah, it didn't hit me until now. Yeah. So for anybody who's listening, my first time watching Star Wars with my dad in the living room, and 15 years ago, I'm not gonna remember anything besides "I am your father." Like that's pretty much all I get. But I'm gonna say on episode 1, I really liked it because like a lot of it wasn't even like Yoda fighting. A lot of it was just showing like his not mental fortitude, but the tactician that he is.
Yeah,
that, plans ahead. And not only is he planned ahead, he knows what to expect out of the enemies. Like, he knew their footsteps before they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's Yoda being Yoda.
I think it's a very good introduction to what type of show the Clone Wars ended up being, which was this sort of, it's not an anthology because, you know, there are overarching themes and stuff, but it's supposed to have this little Saturday morning feel where each episode is condensed, like it's not self-centered, but it's self-contained. There we go. Each episode is self-contained, and you can pick up. That's the cool thing about the Clone Wars, because even though it has arcs, you can click any episode in any season and just watch that episode, and you won't be entirely lost. Like, you'll just enjoy that episode for what it was.
And I think it helps with how each episode starts with Admiral Yularen like giving us a recap or like giving us a sit rep of like what's going on, so you can understand the events that are about to unfold in the coming episode.
Trouble in the Outer Rim.
yeah.
I said, what was it? I do like the fact that like almost every episode, not almost every episode, like you said, they're kind of like standalones. You can just like pick one and just watch from anywhere. Because like when you guys first suggested it to me, you guys suggested that I watch certain episodes, and like at first when you guys told me that, it sounded weird, but I was like, it has to be a reason. I guess they're like standalones, but they're not entirely standalones. I was caught on to. So I think the episodes you guys had me watch was like 1, 2, looks like 5. And I cannot remember the last one you guys also had me watch.
Well, what we were trying to do for you is like remove some filler episodes and like some episodes that we think are like kind of meh, right? Like we wanted to hit you with like the good arcs, the arcs within this season. So like the Malevolence arc, like the episodes 2, 3, and 4. Rookies is such a good episode. I love that episode.
It's integral.
The downfall of the droid 2-parter, right? you know, and the Lair of Grievous episode, oh my god, and also like further down into the season, like the stuff with Ryloth and all that stuff, like that's like, it's so good. And like we meet so many new characters, and like so many characters that we love already as Star Wars fans are like fleshed out. We get to see some really cool stuff. Characters that we've seen, like Aayla Secura in Revenge of the Sith, we get to see more of her in episode 14, Defenders of Peace. And like, so what we were trying to do for you, since this is a weird way for someone to start Star Wars as a general, right? Because most people be like, you got to watch the movies first. You don't have to, right? But like, if you're going to watch some things of Star Wars, yeah, watch the movies is probably like the best bet. But since Mauro and I have grown up with this show, this is probably one of the key things that has solidified our friendship since middle school. You know, like we've had this bond over this show. We wanted to make sure you at least get like the highlights, Chaz, because we didn't know how long it would take for you to watch the entire season. But thankfully, you were able to watch all of it.
Yeah, that's what it was crazy. We tried to condense it for you so that it wouldn't be so overwhelming, and this absolute demon went ahead and just watched the entire season anyways.
So like the best way to put it is I didn't like how to describe it. I watched the main episodes you guys told me to watch.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I sat down and like I stared at the TV. But like for the whole season, I just like when I'm home and I'm not like playing the game or anything, I had put it on. And I let it play, and then like while I'm over here drawing in the corner, doing whatever work, I got it going on like right there, and it was just like you said, they're like standalone episodes in a way, so I can like be sitting there, and then I look up and Calamity's happening, and I don't have to be like, oh no, what happened 4 episodes ago?
Exactly. Clutch, dude, clutch.
So yeah. I found that like a great way. That was a great way for me to get through the entire season.
Well, okay, so overall, you did like the first.
Question for you.
Okay.
So this is all. I don't know the movie order, but I did realize while watching this show is not. I'm not gonna say based around Anakin, but Anakin is how to describe it. It's Anakin and not Luke, right now.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. So the Clone Wars takes place in between episodes 2 and 3. Right? This is in the prequels before Luke and Leia are even born.
So the movies, right? There's the original trilogy, which came out in the late 70s and early 80s. Which
the movies now.
Right. And then there are the prequels, which came out in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Which take place about 20 to 30 years beforehand. The first episode, like episode 1, is like a couple, like I think 30 some odd years before
the Battle of Yavin. Yeah.
Right. And then episode 2 is Anakin in the later stages of him being a Padawan. He's like 19 years old. At the end of episode 2, or a little bit after episode 2, he becomes a knight, like real quick. And you'll see how in season 1, his hair is like a little short. He just finished cutting off his Padawan braid, and as the seasons go on, you'll see that his hair grows a little bit to the point that it's at in episode 3. It's just, this is very, the Clone Wars is essentially Anakin's career as a Jedi Knight. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I think Anakin shows up way too much in the Clone Wars.
Wow.
Like way too much.
Let me tell you, I was expecting to see him a lot more. Like, I do get the shows called, Star Wars, the Clone Wars, but like, I was still like,
look, you're not going to.
They will resort back to like, I see like Anakin as like the face of, not Anakin, but like
that's
Jedi's,
yeah.
The Skywalkers as the face of Star Wars. So you have to have Anakin or you have to have Luke, but you can't have neither.
You're
that's
not going to miss.
That's not entirely true.
I'd say that's not true at all. However, I can understand why like one would see that, and because it's true. If you're watching, like, who's the main character in the prequel movies? It's Anakin. It's Anakin. 1,000,000%. I guess you could, and the main character of the original trilogy is Luke, and I guess they sort of kept this going on with the sequels. Crucify me if you must, but canonically, it's Rey Skywalker, I guess.
The movies is the Skywalker saga. It's all around the Skywalkers, and the Clone Wars. What the Clone Wars does for the movies is gives us that that bridge between 2 and 3, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, for Anakin. We see his growth, and of course the growth of the overall galaxy, and and everybody else that's included. We also see a lot of Obi Wan, see a lot of Padme. We get new characters like Ahsoka, who becomes such an important part of Star Wars, right? So like it bridges that gap between movies, so we can see who Anakin really is and how did this build up into becoming Darth Vader, like started, kind of, but that's not the main focus of the Clone Wars. The main focus of the Clone Wars, I think, is a big game of chess with Palpatine against himself. Like it's him setting up these events and set pieces and like creating this war so he can take advantage and come into power as the Emperor. I think that's what the Clone Wars main focus to show is just the Emperor playing chess against himself so he can become the Emperor. Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to Chaz.
Yeah, because Chaz, you haven't watched Revenge of the Sith. Like a big thing about Revenge of the Sith is like, oh, this war has clouded the senses of the Jedi, and like that allows him to take over.
That. You'll see a whole lot of that in the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah.
There's a point where one of these... so the Jedi have to do this like secret aid mission because some planet is I don't know, they need humanitarian aid. And it's the Jedi's job to go around and provide aid. However, because of the war and because the Jedi are attached to the Republic and this planet was not a Republic planet, they were not allowed. And that's when you like take a step back. How does that make sense? The Jedi, the peacekeepers of the galaxy, are not allowed to intervene in a peacekeeping situation because the government that they now belong to is at odds with that planet. Even though that planet is not directly an enemy of the government, they just haven't chosen that government in the war,
Yeah.
Regardless, I have a little list here of all of the episodes, and I wanted to kind of go through each little arc and see what Chaz thought about them. If you had like any questions or whatever, like that would be the time and stuff.
I love this.
Yeah. So we already kind of talked about episode 1, Chaz, Ambush. Your overall was what, that you liked it like, as an introduction?
I love how it like shows like how to describe it, where a Jedi should be, like the skill level a Jedi is. So, like, if you have no idea what a Jedi is and you see Yoda and Yoda's a Jedi, that's like the prime example. That was like, hey, this is what a Jedi should be. So now what you see forward on, you can tell if somebody's a corrupted Jedi or like somebody's just like in the process of learning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He did everything he went out to do. He successfully completed a diplomatic mission. He's saved his troops in the face of certain death. And he also just kind of proved that as a Jedi, he could, beat whatever little game Ventress wanted to throw him in.
Yeah, because you do meet like learning Skywalker. I said Skywalkers. Learning Jedi. I forgot the name you guys have for them. Padawans. Mm-hmm. I think in the episode that Jared mentioned earlier, Layer of Grievous. Mm-hmm. You have like I think they had like one trainee with them.
I freaking love that episode, dude.
Yeah,
I wanted to
go ahead.
No, I wanted to. What I wanted to make a parallel between that episode and episode 1, but I was gonna wait until we got there. But since you brought it up, I mean, can we talk about how crazy the difference is? In just skill, right? Episode 1 has Yoda with 3 clones.
Yeah.
Pretty much on an entire planet full of separatists with droids and tanks and platoons, as well as Ventress, like leading them, being their little commander off the field. And he does not have a single casualty. He does not lose one man. Meanwhile, we have Kit Fisto, a respected Jedi Master who's part of the
favorite Jedi.
Well, Jared's favorite Jedi. And by no means a run-off-the-mill Jedi. Like, he's part of the council. He is a Jedi Master. And his Padawan, but not a Padawan anymore. He recently made a knight. So you have 2 Jedi, one Master, one knight.
Nadar Veeb.
Veeb, yeah. Something. I don't know. He was headstrong, but he was a knight. He passed his trials. He was a knight. and they had what, like, I think 5 clones with them.
Yeah, they had like a good squad. They had a good squad.
They had a good 2 Jedi, one of them a master, a good squad versus
Grievous.
Grievous. That's it. Just Grievous. Now, Grievous had a couple of like traps in his house and whatnot, but again, it was the surface level was a house, one mansion, and everybody died but Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
Like the parallel there is crazy. Yoda in an entire planet full of hostiles, right, could not only manage to complete his mission, but complete his mission with flying colors without a single casualty. Meanwhile, you have 2 Jedi, one of them a master, right? Jedi who know each other because one of them was the other one's trainee, with an entire squad who and Kit Fisto still loses everybody in one house, not even a planet, one house versus one guy.
Yeah, and I think that also goes to show like the differences between Jedis and their teachings, I guess. Not to say that Kit Fisto is a bad master, right, or the bad teacher. It's just like it shows the differences of how each Jedi can handle situations. Like there are the headfast or like the very, headstrong. There we go. Steadfast Jedis like Anakin, like Nadar, and maybe like Ahsoka even. But it's how they handle certain situations, whether they know to step back or not, or they're just gonna keep ramming through everything like a hot shot and then get themselves killed. Yoda, he is the master of literally all the Jedi, but he is the master of patience and taking a step back and really like seeing the entire situation, while there are still some Jedi in this time that are more narrow-minded.
That's true.
I was gonna say the way I saw that episode was like, tell me if I'm wrong or not, but General Grievous is his name.
Yes,
General, that's what he is, the general. I felt like losing that amount of people had to show the scaling of like how strong General Grievous is.
Oh.
He's not just like a.
His entire layer is filled with trophies he's gotten from killing Jedi. Like he has a whole arsenal of lightsabers and Padawan braids. It's messed up, dude, and that's why General Grievous is like. That's why he's a big deal.
General Grievous is a very interesting character because despite the myth, despite the shit, like the death that hangs around him and all of the kills that he's gotten and how respected he is in the battlefield and how feared he is by both sides, he's a coward.
Yeah.
And we see this constantly. Whenever he doesn't have like the upper hand, he retreats. And Chaz, it's like, if you pay attention, it kind of becomes like a running joke throughout the series how often an episode ends with General Grievous just jumping into a ship and just f***ing off.
Yeah.
While the battle is just kind of not going in his favor anymore.
Well, that tactically, hear me out.
A tactical retreat.
Yes, tactically.
Hold on. No, you said his house is filled with a bunch of like stuff from the Jedis, right?
Yes.
He would not be able to keep receiving all of those if he didn't live to fight another day.
No, I mean, technically you're correct, right? What would Count Dooku gain if General Grievous died in the field, right? But at the same time, why do I want you around if you keep, like, yes, you've killed a ton of Jedi, good for you, but Jedi spawn like crazy these days, pre-purge, right? What we need are strategic victories, and you're not doing any of that, Grievous.
But yeah, that's just what I would say, like about General Grievous, because I've seen his face before. Obviously, I see things around about Star Wars, just don't know what the hell is going on.
Right.
So it's just like seeing his face. I was like, oh, he's like a face I see common. So he's like somewhat important. But then you watch the episode and only one person survives. You're like, okay, I see the importance of this guy. He is literally dangerous. He is not something you want to like scoff at. This is not something you just and you go in there cocky, not prepared, and think you can beat him.
There's that, but there's also the level of there's plot armor, just because there has to be, since this takes place in between episodes 2 and 3 of the movies. Like there are certain characters that have to live up until episode 3. So
yeah,
General Grievous is one of those characters.
some things that they had to do, which you kind of notice on rewatches, but they do a really good job of not telegraphing it or whatever. certain rules that they have to play with. Obviously, aside from, oh, you can't kill this character because they show up in a movie later. In episode 3, there's a line in the beginning where Obi-Wan and Anakin meet with General Grievous. General Grievous and Obi-Wan already know each other through their interaction, but in that interaction, Anakin and Grievous speak to each other as if they've never met. This is like the first time they've ever seen each other. One of them says, "Oh, I expected you to be taller," or something like that, you know? In the Clone Wars, all 7 seasons, Anakin and Grievous do not meet once.
That's true.
Because of this.
Outside of a ship. They've like dogfighted in Starfighter battles, but like that's it.
That's it. Yeah. They've never met face to face. They've never had a lightsaber battle. They don't, because like they can't, like the first time they saw each other face to face was in episode 3, and that was after the Clone Wars. So it's nice that they pay close attention to this sort of thing. It's because Clone Wars was essentially just made by really big fans of the series.
Yeah, Dave Filoni and George Lucas himself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Filoni is like he's since George Lucas is gone, Dave Filoni is now like the George Lucas, him and Jon Favreau. So, yeah. But anyways.
And then I'm going to go back a couple episodes because I'm scrolling through the list now, and I'm like looking at pictures and getting flashbacks. One of my favorite episodes was, it's called Rookies.
I love
Yes.
Rookies!
Okay,
Dude, you
please.
have no idea.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to make a guess from the picture that I'm looking at of what the episode is about. So they're on like this satellite planet, and it keeps communication, and it's like a alarm system.
Yep.
But it's where a bunch of rookies, a bunch of the new clones go after their like basic training and everything, right?
Yep.
And then it gets taken over. The reason I like the episode so much is like, yes, they're clones, but they show their individuality.
Yes, dude.
So it's like, for me, I always thought, like, since they're clones, even like up while watching this, I was like, they're clones, they're all the same. Like, there might be like a minute detail, but like they're all just copies.
Yep.
And then watching that episode is like, oh, they all are different. They behind the helmet, they look different.
They're all people,
they all have
right?
So
that's
like they're
something
clones,
that
but
they excel at in the Clone Wars, to capture like the different types of people that these clones are. They flesh out each and every clone that we like get to spend time with. And Chaz, this is all one guy. This is all one voice actor voicing every single clone. D. Bradley Baker. He is phenomenal at, and he's still able to like give distinct voices and feeling for each and every single clone he's been playing through over the years, and still doing now with like Bad Batch and stuff. You know, like it's insane. And Rookies, yes, you're right, is a great example because we see so many of these different clones with their own different quirks.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about it, getting to see their individuality. Like some of them sacrificing themselves, some of them being smarter and like combat, like not smarter in combat, but better in combat, and some of them being smarter like planning like their way through things. So it was
each clone like specializes in something different, you know. That's why these squads make sense, because yes, it's a squad of the same guy, but maybe this guy liked sniping a little bit more, so that's what he like fine-tuned his skills in. Maybe this other one's a little more techie, that's what he fine-tuned his skills in. Maybe there's one that just really likes explosives and big noise and guns, and so I don't know where the personality shifts change. They don't do that organically in the pods. I think it's just one of those things where you put a bunch of people in a room, and just because you're standing in a different place, you have a different point of view. And that's the cool part. Like, yeah, they're all clones, and they're all acutely aware of the fact that they're clones, but they distinct themselves. They give each other nicknames. They sometimes the nicknames are rude, right? Like Echo in Rookies. His whole thing was that he was super straight and by the book, and like he would probably just go by his own his designation number, but because he's always like repeating stuff, his people riff on him. They call him Echo, but that's their brother. They're all brothers. They say that all the time. Like, yes, we're brothers, not just brothers in arms or brothers in
quite literally brothers.
Well, yeah, right. Like quite literally brothers.
And Chaz, you are going to be very much familiar with a lot of these clones that you see in Rookies. Not only Captain Rex, of course, and Commander Cody, but the rookies themselves. Fives, Echo, Heavy, the rest of Domino Squad. You're not even ready for that, man. Like, they're planting seeds already for like season 3 is where we get more Dominoes.
Season 3.
Domino Squad? I love Domino Squad, dude. Oh my God.
I would, before watching season 3, Chaz, actually, I would go back and watch this episode because some of the characters that die. Oh, okay. So the Clone Wars
like
doesn't really
flashback.
take. Yeah. A lot of these episodes do not take place in chronological order, and they won't tell you this. So you'll tune into an episode and you'll be there with a character that died last season, and you're like, wait, how'd this happen? It just took place before. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, you're not ready for that. I'm so excited to like finally get there with you and like watch it, because it's like the Clone Wars only gets better and better. Season 1 is pretty good on its own. I think looking back on it, 20 plus years later, it's rough to look at, if I'm being honest.
20 plus years.
What is it?
10, 15. It's been about 15.
15 years?
Because something like that. It came out in 2008.
Yeah.
It's 2025 now. So what, like 15, 16 years?
Okay.
Like that?
Yeah. Well, still, like this many years later, it's kind of rough. There's a lot of edges that I see, and I'm like, ooh, okay. But like, still at the time, it looks great.
Look, Chaz. After this, after Rookies, there's a 2-episode arc called The Downfall of a Droid and Duel of the Droids. That's the one where
Very
R2D2
nice.
Gets sort of replaced because he gets lost. How'd you feel about those episodes?
Let me tell you how I'm drawing a blank on those two.
That's
It's
fine.
the one where they come in with like this other droid.
Don't worry, I am already reading the description. I have them pulled up.
Or how about this? Out of the ones that come out, which one of these like stood out to you? There's the Jar Jar episode. I kind of don't even want to talk about that one.
Me neither.
I can't. The last episode I was thinking about. I can't. I don't know if I. Okay, I feel like I'm tripping absolute balls right now because as I go through this list, I don't see it, right? And I'm looking for a picture that looks familiar, but none of these pictures look familiar, and I'm trying to read the descriptions, and it's not fitting right.
All right, I could.
I'm going to tell you this: it's Ahsoka and Anakin. They were in a ship, and then somebody needed to be saved in space, and it was either like do the right thing, listen to orders, or not do the right thing.
Oh,
It was do the right thing,
We're
or
talking about
listen to
Malevolence.
order. Is it Malevolence?
Yeah, we're talking about the Malevolence arc when they were trying to save Kit Fisto. Or I'm sorry, Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
Yeah. That's the first
They're
4 episodes.
Episode 4?
No, it should be episode 3.
You're thinking about the one
Shadow
where...
Malevolence or Destroy the Malevolence?
No, it's episode
definitely
2.
Shadow.
It's episode 2.
It's episode 2, Rising. It's the one where the Jedi and the clones are stuck in an escape pod, correct?
Yep.
Yes, I think there are escape pods. But like somebody's going around just destroying whatever like life source they see.
Yeah. The droids are going by like pod to pod and opening them up and killing everybody inside. Yep.
Okay, Rising of Malevolence. That's what you said it's called.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
episode 2.
Who was? I'm trying to figure out who was in the ship. Who you said they had to save?
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
Another
He's that
one of my
guy-
favorites.
He's that guy with the mask. He looks like a giant brain with a mask.
It has like 6 holes for like eye socket mask parts and
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he started fighting in space and everything, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Oh,
Like, he
it's so
opened his
badass. So badass. God, I love Plo Koon.
But the reason I like that episode, as you can tell, like it wasn't my top tier since I couldn't even remember to find it. But I liked it because it was like showing the I guess like you said the government thing with the Jedi, where Ahsoka and Anakin are getting orders to like leave, and she's like, I can't do that
Because
And,
they
like,
know better, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, do I do the right thing or do I follow orders and just take whatever lashing I get later? And that's what it was like character development. That's what I saw in that episode. Character development for Ahsoka, exactly.
I want to ask you about that, actually. How do you feel about Ahsoka in general? This is season 1. This is like 15-year-old snarky Ahsoka.
That episode is our first introduction to Ahsoka in the show, but I don't know if you were aware of this, Chaz. There's a Clone Wars movie that takes place before the show starts.
What? No, I did not know this.
Yeah, man.
It's
That's her actual introduction to Star Wars. But yeah, go ahead and answer the question how you feel about Ahsoka.
I have no. How to describe this? Ahsoka is training, and Anakin is the one training her. Correct?
Yes.
yeah.
I see Ahsoka as like she needs a lot more character development, which you said there's 7 seasons, so
All right.
I'm going to get it. I'm assuming I'm going to get it. The way these episodes are just the way you guys are describing these episodes, I might not see it, but she needs the character development. But she's like a great how to describe it. With me just watching Clone Wars, there's somebody I could watch see make their way from like bottom to top.
That was the nicest description of season 1 Ahsoka I have ever heard.
I don't hate her. Yeah. Like
No, of course. Look,
like she has a lot of attitude and everything, but you got to start somewhere. You get me?
you
If you're being trained.
absolutely have to start somewhere, and I love that point of view because yes, Ahsoka is meant to be a little annoying, a little irritating. If there are people who don't like her, and that's fine. I just don't like that they don't get why they don't like her in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to. It's not bad writing. It's that she's a kid and she's headstrong and snarky and cocky, and she needs to learn. And she does. She absolutely does.
You think maybe it's because like people seem like the Star Wars movies before, so they know like her.
I believe back when it came out, it was definitely one of those. Well, I know Obi Wan and I know Anakin. Who the hell is this girl coming in and calling him Sky Guy and being disrespectful and she's not part of it. She doesn't know the lore. Yeah, people feel like a sense of entitlement, I suppose.
And Chaz, Ahsoka isn't in the movies.
She's not.
She's a new character to this show.
Oh,
now she's become the staple in Star Wars because she's the characterization she gets in this show and beyond is incredible. But she was made specifically for this show.
There's so much. Give me a second. I just clicked so I'm doing research. Like I have 3-4 tabs open and I'm just searching up different things. And I see that there's a Ahsoka show now as well. Man.
Yeah, don't even worry about that. That's post movies, post original trilogy.
Yeah, it's a long way from now, man. Don't worry about it. It's a long way.
Well, I guess now you know she doesn't die, Rip.
Yeah, and I see Bad Batch. I see this animated series called Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, now I was just trying to see what else there was.
She's in it for the long haul, bro.
Yeah.
But the amount of Star Wars content. Like I knew there was Star Wars content everywhere, but
that's what I love about Star Wars. There's just so much of it that you can pick and choose.
Does it end though? Like, is there a stop? Is there I'm assuming there's a watching order.
There is a most current part in the timeline, but they could come out with a Star Wars series tomorrow that takes place anywhere in the timeline, and it's we haven't explored this year. There was a gap of 20 years between this show and this movie. Let's explore that.
That should not be allowed. I will.
Oh, unfortunately, Star Wars plays around like that a lot. They jump around. Like the Old Republic stuff is in this weird is it canon, is it not canon limbo thing, because it takes place a couple thousand years before episode 1, and they have so much time to play around with that they can just do whatever they want. Introduce lore, introduce crazy Sith lords that people that have absolutely no impact in the current continuity. But
I think a good way to approach Star Wars in general, Chaz, so you don't feel overwhelmed, is that what we're getting from the shows and the movies, we are getting stories that take place within this galaxy, within this universe, right?
That's it. That's literally it.
Do some of these stories they're books, right? The Clone Wars there's a book on that, which is episodes 1, 2, the Clone Wars 3, and a little bit more, but they are self-contained overall stories, sure, but the universe still lives on. Then you can say that about a lot of other medias, I'm sure, but just so you don't feel overwhelmed and you have to and the need of I have to watch all this stuff to understand what's going on. No, you don't.
No.
If you want to only talk like watch Clone Wars, that's all you have to do, man. You don't really have to be aware of much else, and that's, you know, and I'm kind of glad that's what we're starting with you. Like, we're experimenting with you here, Chaz, of like, how does someone see Star Wars just from starting at Clone Wars? And it's a lot. You meet a lot of characters that you would meet in the movies, but there's also so much going on in this self-contained show that it can be its own standalone thing.
If I can get like sit down and actually get time to like sit down and watch all of the Star Wars stuff, I would want to do it in like chronological order.
Okay.
Not like and not like release date, but like
No, I get you.
happening.
In universe. No, I get it.
In universe, yeah.
Yeah, but I see so much content. I feel like
We can make a little chronological list for you.
Yeah, it's
Movies
not
included and shit.
not an issue.
I have another question for you, Chaz. Because you have military background, how did you feel about the Ryloth episodes?
Oh my god.
What I mean by the Ryloth episodes are there were like 3 episodes that took place on this sort of desert planet. Not really desert, but it was like a dusty planet where the inhabitants were Twi'lek, which are those aliens with the long tails in the back of their head.
yes.
Yeah. Do you remember those episodes? Those are the episodes where there was one where there
The
were
blue
2
aliens.
clones. There were 2 clones that were like bringing up or trying to get this like little girl to safety.
God,
Do you
it's
remember?
Such a good episode.
The little blue alien. One dude was bald and the other one was
Yes. Boyle and Waxer.
Boyle and Waxer.
Those were the names. The bald one, I'm pretty sure that was Waxer.
I love these
Boyle.
names.
Yeah, I know. The clone names are amazing, dude. It's specifically Innocence of Ryloth. That's the episode where they get sent out to do some scouting or something, and then they find that little girl. And one of them is like all like, you know, rough and gruff, and the other one's like, no, come on, look, it's a little girl. We gotta like, you know, get her to her family or something. And at the end, they end up, you know, helping the slaves get free, and then they start a rebellion, and you know. Typical Star Wars stuff.
Those 3 episodes are so good because they tell a single story, but we see so many different aspects, and it follows multiple different characters throughout. You know, like the first one, like we start off with Anakin and Ahsoka, and they're doing like Navy space battle stuff. Then we get more on ground stuff, and we get this very nice, well-fleshed, like humanizing story, not only for like the clones, but also for the you know, actual innocence of the people who this war is affecting. And that's like, it really shines a light of like, yeah, this is not just a big show of like pew pew pew, like, oh, this is all badass and Jedis, you know what? No. There's actual heart, and we're actually like taking the time to explore these themes. And then the 3rd episode with Mace Windu, you know, it was freaking badass throughout the entire time. And then like actually taking down the separatist droid army on Ryloth. It's like there's so many different things going on, and we get to see not only different aspects of the war, of the Clone Wars, space and on planet, and like the actual residents of the civilian stuff, you know. We get to see like how all these different characters approach this stuff. Like we get to see how Anakin approaches space stuff. We get to see Obi Wan approaching how to command his troops and stuff. And Mace Windu, one of the most powerful Jedis ever, taking down the droid army. And there's like so many different aspects to this. It's just 3 episodes of 1 season, and it tackles so much, and it's so good.
Right after this, Chaz, you get the last episode, which is Hostage Crisis.
I don't care about that.
What do you mean you don't care about that?
I don't care about it.
What?
I do not like most of like the political episodes in Clone Wars.
Jared, hold on a second. Hold on. What the fuck? I respect your opinion.
Sure.
The political episodes are some of the most important to the overall story, not just the Clone Wars, but like, okay, this is an episode where Senator Palpatine, right, who is literally the mastermind behind this entire war on both sides, is put in a situation that he did not anticipate, he did not expect, and he can't really like get himself out of in a way that he like would normally by using any of his like force powers or whatever, because he's got all eyes on him. Chaz, this is the episode where a bunch of bounty hunters come into the Senate and just hold the senators hostage, and then they blow them up.
The best thing that we got out of that episode is Cad Bane.
Oh,
Cad Bane was the blue dude with the red eyes. You remember that?
The hat. Really? That's like the only reason why I care about some political episodes is to, oh yeah, we're most likely going to get some bounty hunter stuff, and most likely it's going to be with Cad Bane. I'm there for that, man, but like what they're actually talking about and like the whole Senate shit, like I don't care. A lot of
the political episodes in Star Wars are very boring. They are like Padme centric almost, and they have a genuine like story to tell, because Star Wars does involve politics, especially in the Clone Wars era. For some reason, George Lucas just fell in love with intergalactic politics, to a fault, I would say, in the first movie, but they kind of toned it down after that. Regardless, this episode, I do love the politics in Star Wars to an extent, but this episode isn't, I don't love it because of that. I can't really remember what the situation was with the Senate, what they were talking about. It doesn't matter. That was not the focus. The focus of the episode was how much damage a group of well-trained bounty hunters could do. Up until this point in the show, bounty hunters hadn't really been introduced in like a good like capacity.
That's fair.
And bounty hunters are a very big part of Star Wars. In every era, right? Bounty hunters get used either by personal private parties or by governments themselves. The Empire employs bounty hunters, and in the Clone Wars, the Separatists employ bounty hunters. Sometimes the Jedi themselves work with bounty hunters and pirates and stuff like that, just, you know, on a regular scale. But the reason bounty hunters are so important is because they're not just your run-off-the-mill soldier. These are people that are so deadly that governments themselves will hire them to get shit done. And sometimes it's not even like killing people. Sometimes it's just political terrorism, because what happened in this episode was just terrorism.
Well, I mean, they were also rescuing Zero the Hutt.
Oh, right. It was a prison break and terrorism.
Yeah, it was like a 2-in-1.
There we go.
Yeah.
General question for Jared.
Okay.
You like Star Wars a lot, but from what I know, isn't Star Wars mostly political?
Yeah.
Like, you was literally just describing to me like the way the government works and uses the Jedi.
Well, that was Mauro saying that, but that is true. Look, I think this is okay. This is very contradictory. Where my favorite era in Star Wars is the Clone Wars, right? The Republic versus Separatist era, and that I think we have the most politics we get in Star Wars is within the prequel era. Okay,
that is like the most politic heavy era in Star Wars, I believe.
But we also get like a lot of cool war stuff, like the Clone Wars. Like we actually get like a lot of cool battles, and like we freaking see a lot more like Attack of the Clones type stuff. We get to see a lot of Jedi stuff. We get to explore every aspect of the Star Wars universe within Clone Wars. Yeah, we get the politics. Yeah, we get the bounty hunter. Yeah, we get the soldier stuff. We get the mythical Jedi religion stuff, and like all of that together. It's why I love it so much compared to like the original trilogy, where it's mainly Jedi stuff, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with it, but like there's a clear focus that it's not just the Galactic Civil War. This is a war between good and evil, Luke and
ideology.
Yeah, Jedi versus Sith or whatever. And whereas the sequels kinda is a little muddled, which I'm not even gonna get into, but like the Clone Wars era, the prequels, yes, has a lot of politics, but I'm not there for that. I'm there for everything else that they do right. You know?
Like, so when you're watching, like, most times, like, you're halfway paying attention to political stuff just for, like, convenienceness, but other than that, it's just kind of getting tossed out the window if you don't need it.
Kind of, like, and it's weird because we grew up watching this when it came on every Friday night at 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a new episode of Clone Wars. I'm gonna freaking watch the new episode of Clone Wars, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's a senator heavy episode. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that, it's whatever. I wouldn't have a choice. I wouldn't purposely rewatch it. And on my recent rewatch of this season for this episode, yeah, I skipped it.
But okay,
and also the Gunk in
look.
general, like, yeah, it's funny because, like, we get some Jar Jar stuff, but like, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't want to sit through that again.
No, that's fair. But there are some episodes where, specifically this one, for example.
I'm sorry, I meant Bombad Jedi, not Gung in general.
No,
Bombad
yeah.
Jedi.
The Bombad Jedi was a glorious. Sometimes the politics episodes aren't good, but not because of the politics, just because of how ham-fisted the story is. What are you there? Are you trying to prove to me that Jar Jar is a good political
asset?
What do you call it? Yeah, no, he's not. He's not. You like, no. Okay, the whole point. No, the point of Jar Jar is that he fails upwards. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need an entire episode dedicated to that. What I could do with is maybe at the end of an episode or halfway through an episode, he like trips and falls and like accidentally pushes a senator or like the king of a planet or something to the ground
for
on
safety,
accident.
yeah.
But then it ends up saving his life or something, yeah. And then because of that, he's like, yeah, you know what? You guys are good. Like this, Jar Jar, you're a friend for life. I'm with the Republic. Like that makes sense. That's Jar Jar. I don't need a whole fucking episode of him pretending to be a Jedi. Or,
I will say the type of episodes that involve politics are within like the middle to late portion of this season. So I'm just gonna list off some of them. Right, the Jedi Crash, Defenders of Peace. It's when Anakin, Ahsoka, Rex, and Ayla crash land on this planet that's gonna be invaded by the Separatists. God, I love that episode. Not only do we get like a lot of fleshing out of a known character that we don't see a lot with Ayla Secura, but like that whole, we get to see a lot of character development with Ahsoka in herself because Anakin's out of commission and she needs to take the lead with Ayla. Mm-hmm. But the episode, the following episodes after that, Trespass, episode 15, when they go to that ice planet and achieve peace between the Tulls and like the Pandoran people. Oh my god, that is so cool. The main goal of that episode is to achieve peace between these two races of the moon and the home planet. But like the way it's done, it's like not just politics. We get to see the actual troubles of negotiating peace between peoples, and I love that. And the episode after this, Hidden Enemy, episode 16, is where they're on Christophsis and there's clone spy espionage. Like espionage in Clone Wars is so cool, man. And like this is dealing with clones. We're like, oh yeah, this could be anybody, and then they had to figure that out, and it's just so awesome, dude. And like these are the type of political episodes that doesn't involve necessarily the entire Senate. Like we're not just in Coruscant here, we're like out on the field actually doing something than just like debating. I think that's my line. Like I don't like the episodes where we're just in Coruscant and it's just Padme talking to Newt Gonroy, just debating whether or not this thing is gonna happen, is gonna be good or not.
We gotta help the people. We gotta divert resources away from the war. Yeah.
I prefer the episodes that have political stakes where things are actually things I feel have stakes. Like why don't you feel that Hostage Crisis is one of these episodes? I don't know, because I there's no stake, there's no reason for the politicians to be there, because I think that's an added on thing, because we can have a completely like standard heist episode with the bounty hunters getting 0, but I think it's just overcomplicating things with the senators, because the only thing that the senators bring to that is with Padme having Anakin's lightsaber, and what we're actually seeing is not anything political. It's not anything about the Senate. It's we're seeing how Padme and Anakin are juggling their secret relationship and their lives together. That's what I think Hostage Crisis does. Does that make sense?
Okay. But you don't like the fact... Okay, so what else happens in this episode? We have...
That's it!
No. This is one of two times in the entire show where Palpatine is kind of caught with his pants down. And I say that this is a very crucial and important part of the Clone Wars, because the entire time, from start to finish, Palpatine is always on top. He's always aware of everything that's going on. Everything is planned. Whatever happens is because he planned for it to happen. He has contingencies. He knows how to act and how to make things. Like, there's even a point where there is a kidnapping where he gets kidnapped, and that was all part of the plan. Like, he planned for that to happen, and this was like a few seasons from now. But this is the only time where, this and another time, where he is literally just sitting there, thumb up his butt, because he can't do anything. Cad Bane took his senators hostage, and now they're asking to ransom them off for Zero the Hutt, and there's nothing anybody can do but play. And Palpatine, there's a scene where he's there and he's kind of like, looking down, because he doesn't like, what can he do in this situation?
Okay,
you know
but
what I mean?
that doesn't do anything.
It does. It shows you, right, politically,
Oh my God,
the type of strings that no matter how like tight of a hold Palpatine has on both sides of this war, things can still happen to kind of make him be like, well, damn, now I have to play the game. Because look, who is he, bro? Do you think he couldn't have just kind of like located Cad Bane and killed him and continued on? Because Cad Bane was getting in the way of his shit. Like, whatever they were deliberating about, he wanted them to be deliberating about. He wanted it to come to Congress or the Senate, so that he can have his say and do this and that or whatever. What's going on now? He might literally lose like 12 or 13 senators that he strategically placed and knows and wants there because Cad Bane is throwing a hissy fit. What can he do about it? Absolutely nothing. Otherwise, he'll out himself as the Sith Lord.
But that's not the focus of the episode. The focus is the bounty hunters trying to break out Zero the Hutt, and also Padme and Anakin trying to keep their relationship a secret. That's all. That's the only thing that matters in that episode.
Do the bounty hunters miss a beat?
No, that's the best part of the episode.
They go in there, they do everything they needed to do, and then they go out, right? They solve their mission, right? Mission accomplished with flying colors, and they still try to kill all the senators just because. Luckily, Anakin woke up nick of time and cut the floor so that they all fell down and stuff, but I think this was this episode. It's not like, oh, this is the only thing that happens. It's a multifaceted episode where plenty of things happen.
Plenty of things happen, but there's only one thing I care about. I think that's my point. We're like,
okay, that's fair.
The reason why I don't like most political senator episodes, it's because it doesn't have much substance to me compared to like when they add stuff with bounty hunters. That's when I like it. And also when they have other stakes, like I said with episode 15, Trespass, or the Hidden Enemy. Like, there are stakes to this, and it makes me feel like what political thing they're trying to accomplish actually matters. Unlike in other episodes like Hostage Crisis, where they're just there, man. There's nothing political. Like, there's no actual Senate debate that's going on. It's not like the bounty hunters are trying to stop them from passing a bill. No, that's not happening. It's just they're there, and it's Anakin and Padme being like, oh no, we got to keep our marriage a secret. How are we gonna do that?
Well, maybe it's not a political episode then. Maybe it's just a bounty hunter episode featuring hostages.
That's exactly what it is. And yeah. Big rant.
big rant over.
But to I know it's hard to condense like a whole season into one episode, but I'm pretty sure we're hitting like most of the broad strokes. But to bring this in for a landing, what are our final thoughts? Mainly you, Chaz, because this is your first time watching Star Wars. This is like the big focus of this series. Like, you watching Star Wars finally, you know?
I'm going to say after I catch up on my recent endeavors that I'm not going to mention because that's for future episodes. I do want to start season 2. That is definitely like on my list. It's not like something I want to just like. All right, I did it. That's it. I tried. You get me? It is,
So you're hooked.
I don't want to say hooked, but like
Ooh.
I have room to like I care to keep going. You get me?
Your
Good enough.
interest is peaked then.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what season 1 is for. Season
Yeah.
2 will get you hooked.
Yeah, honestly, like it's only like a lot of people say this about a lot of shows, but it's only gonna get better in like every aspect. Like not only visually, audio wise, like how it sounds, but like storytelling. Like I'm looking at the episodes for season 2, and man, there's like some big ones, and like we get like some really cool battles and really cool things going on. Yeah, we have some senator episodes, but like, you know, some political episodes, but some of them are fun. And we get Godzilla in this season. You don't know what that means, Chaz, but you will, and you're gonna love it. I'm telling you.
Are we talking about the literal Godzilla or we're
Yes,
just
basically.
metaphor?
No, it's Godzilla, basically.
Like
But a
like
Star
the
Wars
God-
Godzilla. You'll see. You'll find out, dude. Season 2 is
Okay.
gonna rock your world, man. It's great. It starts off awesome too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mauro.
Take my word. I think season 1 is a very campy season. Obviously, it was meant for kids. It was like their swan. No, not swan song. What's the opposite of that? Whatever. Their pitch. It was their pitch to Cartoon Network. It was a show. It was kind of like a proof of concept, I guess. After season 1, mostly after season 2, it starts getting a little bit more gritty, a little more serious.
Yeah.
I think season 1 is an all right season. I like it, but I don't think it's like the best season of Clone Wars. I think it's actually like in comparison to other seasons, it's like below a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it's because of what you said, Jared. It only gets better from here. It's a good season, and there are great ones after.
Yeah, man. It's like calling season 1 one of the lowest like ranking seasons is like not a knock to it. It's still like a C+, B-, but like
Exactly. It's yeah.
what Dave
It's because
Filoni. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that everything that comes after is just so much better and in a lot of ways, and also a lot more serious. This was very kind of kiddish, kind of cartoony, and
Yeah.
I understand why, but that kind of goes away to its betterment later on.
Yeah, man. And just Dave Filoni had so much room to really flesh out this galaxy with so many characters, and of course, like the main ones with Anakin and Obi Wan and Ahsoka. Yeah, they're here most of the time, but like there's other characters like Grievous and Ventress, you know, and even clones themselves that we really get to flesh out, and even new storylines, new things that are made up in this show happens, and like it's so compelling. It's just so well done, and I can't wait to dive into it more in the future. Don't know the frequency on how often we're gonna push or pump these episodes out, but like hopefully I'll try to keep them releasing close together, right, in the future. But yeah, season 1, like we've been saying, it's a solid season. There's a lot of good individual stories in this season, and I really like that. It's not necessarily a vignettes, right? Not vignettes, but like they're standalone episodes, but there's also nice good arcs that shows the potential of how much better the storytelling gets. So Chaz, I'm really glad that not only did you finish the entire first season, but like you are interested, and like this is a good, I still think this is a good gateway for you to enter the Star Wars universe, and I'm excited to turn you over to the dark side of liking Star Wars.
I get it.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of The Razzle Dazzle Show. Be sure to let us know what you think about this episode somewhere on the internet. Follow us on our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to rate us 5 stars and leave a comment down below. We'll catch you on the next one.
Next time on the Razzle Dazzle Show.
Authenticity is to trace something back to its purest form or to its earliest influence and not have it resemble anything else. I think truly authentic art is created by people that are not, ironically, like they're inspired by things, but they don't care about trying to emulate other things. True authenticity is not trying to emulate anything. It's confident, it knows exactly what it wants to be, and it doesn't sound like anything else. Even though I say that knowing, like I said, I've already caveated this, but I know everything's influenced by other things, but to me, it's like a pure expression of an original idea that doesn't sound like anything else.
Tune in next week.